Now you're recording. Okay. Take 4. Maybe it's take 5. I've lost count. Alright, I'm going to show you how to make a macrame or a hemp bracelet. We're going to be using macrame knots. A spool of 1.5 millimeter natural hemp, a spool of 1.5 millimeter black hemp. A handy dandy flexible ruler. I can't break it because I'm really bad on rulers. A bottle of fray check. Pair of just ordinary scissors. Cheapy kind work just fine for this unless you're using really heavy cord or twine. And a tube of GS Hypo fabric cement that I got from Fire Mountain Gems. Anything else? I think that is it. My coffee got set to the side because it was interfering. We're going to take, I'm going to start with the black. We're going to measure 5 feet of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to take the end because I've already dipped the other end when I cut the one thing first. Usually this has a real pointy tip on it, but my lid just fell off and I'm not going out to get another bottle right now, otherwise you'll never see this video. Just dip a little bit of it in, it doesn't take much. Set that off to the side and let it dry. And then I always set this one here, take this one here, as soon as I finish with the other one, dip it too, and that way I don't have to worry about coming back and having it frayed to the point where I can't use it anymore. And I'm going to set that off to the side here, just because otherwise I'll get this little area so cluttered you won't be able to see it. Now, repeat with the natural. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm sorry guys, I can't seem to get everything all in the camera at one time. And 5. Let me just recount that because I think I lost count when I was trying to fix the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm just cutting it right there. And dip this end. Ordinarily, if it's a brand new thing, you need to dip both ends, or if you cut both ends, you need to dip both ends. But like I said, when I cut the one end off, I always dip it so it's ready to go for me the next time. So I only have to, if I'm only cutting one piece off, I only have to dip the one end. And what this does is it leaves like a thin glue that glues all the fibers together so it doesn't fray out on you. If you want to have soft ends, I like it better for working this way. That way I don't end up having to cut off a whole bunch of this at the end because it's all frayed. Or if I'm going to be working with beads, it stays nice and fine so I can thread the beads on it easier. But if you can always trim off the glue at the end when you're done so that you end up with the nice soft fray that hemp will give you. Okay, I'm getting rid of ruler, I'm getting rid of scissors, and let's see. Now we're going to take these two and match my ends. Ideally this would have dried, but if I do that, your video will be another 5 minutes long. Okay, it takes about 5 minutes for this stuff to dry, not much longer than that. Taking both ends, matching them up. So I've got 4 ends that match. Come down here to the loops. Got 2 loops there. They're a little bit different. I'm going to even up the loops. That'll make my ends down here a little bit different. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I much prefer to have my loops even than not. And I'm going to wrap it around my finger, just like so. Take the 2 loops, slip off the circle off my finger, take the 2 loops, push them through the center thing there, the center hole that I had left, and then I'm going to start pulling them tight. I'm going to use this for part of my closure, so I don't want to lose that. And now I want to watch the way these are working. See how that black one is a little bit loose, bigger than the rest of them there? I want to see if I can find that black one and get it to even up. Okay, that just did it. So now I'm just going to gradually start pulling on these, trying to keep them tight as I do it, and I'm just going to take them one at a time so that they all kind of stay even. If I notice one of them is looking a lot looser, I'll work on that one a little bit more. But the idea is to gently keep pulling on these one at a time until you get them, and gradually tighten them up before you tighten. And you also want to flip it around. See how that one is not right? So I've got one of those white ones that I need to really pull on. And I may have gotten things too tight already. Let me see. Can I get that one to even up? There it goes. It doesn't usually take much, and you can usually feel it give when it's doing things like that. Uh-oh, now I've got a black one that's out. Okay, there it goes. All right. And so now I've got things pretty tight, so I'm going to really pull hard on this. And if you want to, you can like put your finger through there so you have something to pull against, or you can just pull against your knot right there. So I pulled that one pretty hard, and that one pretty hard. So I pulled 1 black, 2 black, 1 white, 2 white, or 2 naturals. Okay, and this isn't the most even knot in the world, but it isn't the most terrible either. Okay, now I've taken that, and because I've started this video twice now, I've already got it clipped underneath my clipboard here. So just clip it there just to give you some place to anchor to. And now we're going to see if I can do this way. Actually, I'd prefer to have it standing up, but I can't get you that. Okay, I'm going to start with my 2 natural colored cords in the center, my black ones on the outside. These are going to be called my carriers, and they're going to kind of be inactive. I intend to, on one of my sites, or on the site in the future, not right away, to get a video up showing you how you can use these to put beads on. That's the reason they're called carriers. And just so that I remember how to always start my cords, or start my knots, I always start with this one on the left. It goes over and under, and I always flip it up so it stays out of my way and I know where it's going to. Now, the one on the right, the black one, remember I said the 2 white ones are kind of neutral, they're carriers, they don't do much right now. Okay, the black one that was on the right, it's going right now over the top of the other black one. So you're going to take it and bring it under and under both the carriers and up through the loop over here. Okay, pull the end through, and now tighten this knot and tighten it evenly again so you get a nice symmetrical knot. And your first knot is sometimes kind of hard to get looking good. Okay, and you see how I use my fingernail to kind of push it up because hemp is really stiff. If you're working with something like cotton, woven cotton cord, it isn't anywhere near as stiff. Satin cord isn't anywhere near as stiff, but satin cord is slippery and doesn't like to hold its knots. Okay, so I got it pushed up. I'm going to pull it really tight now. So it really squeezes those 2, okay? Now, this now becomes the cord that goes on top of the 2 carriers and on top of over here. And this one is going to come down. Whoops, did I just mess that up? I'm talking and I lose my place. Okay, this one comes over and under. This one comes over and over the top of the black one again, under the 2 carriers, and up through the hole. Now you want to keep doing it, alternating like that, because if you mess them up, your bracelet will get a twist in it, and you can use that as a style. I'm going to do a little bit of I'm going to just show you how to make the basic square knot flat bracelet this time. Like I said, there should be some other videos coming up for some other real simple bracelets. I have them planned. I'm just wanting to get these out to you, so keep checking back. All right, now you see how I do that? So this is just a process of one on the left over the top, one on the right over the black under the whites. Okay, and all I'm doing here is tightening it up using my fingers and such like that. All right, and then let's see. Now this one goes over the natural ones, and under the other black one comes over and under the naturals and black back up through the hole again. There should be some pictures on the site or a presentation on the site, maybe a second video that shows you these knots and paracord so you can actually see what I'm doing, because I know this is pretty hard to see. I don't know if that makes it any better or not. That's probably pretty badly out of focus. Okay, I'm going to do like 2 or 3 more of these, and then I'm going to show you how to do a switch knot so that you get so that this has a little bit of variety. Otherwise you're going to end up with just a bracelet that you might not think, if it looked like it was all made out of black, and if you're going to make it all out of black, you might as well just made it out of black. Okay, so I'm just repeating this, what they call the square knot, which is the knot I just showed you how to make. Oh, try not to let these two guys get twisted, otherwise you end up with a funny looking centerpiece. And pull them tight and push the knots up against each other if you want it to be a nice solid appearing stretch. And I usually do. Let me do a couple more. And I'm not really working for from a pattern or design or anything. I'm just kind of going, oh, this is kind of the way I want this to look right now. So this is a piece that I'm basically creating as I go. Okay, let's see. You went under. I need you to go under. And sometimes I lose my place, and if so, then you have to be patient while I refind it again. And just keep pulling those two flat. Trying to make sure you stay in my video screen. Okay. I need oh, that doesn't work. Well, let's see. Maybe that will work. How does that work, guys? Except for now I don't have anything to hold it against. Okay, but anyway, you can get a look to see what I'm doing. Now let me twist my thing back down again so you have a better image down here. Okay, now where was I? Okay, and back to the left again, so back and under. And this can get to be real monotonous. Uh-oh. I don't know if you can see what I just did right there. Let me twist this up a little bit, get it in close for you. You see how that one, see this one is coming from under and going on top, and this one is coming from under, kind of going on top. If I do that, if I pull that tight, it's going to start to twist. That is, I did that one wrong. Okay, remember I told you I sometimes lose my directions. That isn't the way you want it to look. If it's coming under, you want it to stay under. If it's going on top, you want it to stay on top. So I need to take this one out before I tighten it up. And start with the other side. Okay, I've started doing these kind of sideways, which is much different from the way I usually do this because it works better in the camera for you guys. So be real patient with me here, okay? Oh, I know what I'll do. You hold still for a second. Camera, hold still. And we will do this. It's called being brainy and intelligent and turning things around. Okay, now I'm back to where I can deal with life again. Now I'm just working upside down. And hopefully you guys can still see and hear me and everything like that. Okay, so let's see. Now I said I always started with the one that was on my left, but I just turned everything upside down, so I need to start with the one on my right. So we take that one over, and this one over and under, and pull it tight there, and squish everything together, and repeat up and over and under and under and over. And don't listen to my unders and overs right now because they'll get lost. Okay. Alright, I have maybe an inch there of black, and I want to get some more interest going in this bracelet. So what I'm going to do is switch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and bring the two outside ones to the outside and make the two black ones my carriers. Okay, see what I did right there? And now then we're going to start, because I was always starting with the one on the left, but I just changed everything upside down. So now I'm all confused, but I need to be starting with the one on my right to keep the same pattern. This one is going to go over the two carriers and under the other white and back toward me because it should have gone up. And this one is going to go under the two carriers. See how it's going under the two carriers, under the one white, and back up over here through the loop. Now, you can leave this loose like this if you want a nice lacy thing, which I think makes it kind of interesting, and that's called a switch knot. And I think for this one I'm going to leave that like that, just to add some more interest to the bracelet. Then let's see, we take this one and put it over and under the white over and under the two carriers. Keep the two carriers parallel again. Don't want them twisting over each other. And now then, the tricky part on this is getting this to pull tight and pull tight nicely without getting a whole bunch of bumpiness and other stuff, and keep the two loops symmetrical. And I've got the whites pulled a little bit tighter than the blacks, so I'm going to pull the knot tight from the top rather than from the bottom. There we go. That looks not too bad. Okay. And now then I'm just going to make some more whites in there, or naturals in there again. It's not white, I'm calling it white. It's easier and shorter to say. Okay. Starting from my right again. How long is this thing going? Ooh. Okay, guys, I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to do a little bit because otherwise this is going to be way too long. Okay, we're recording again. I put in 1, 2, 3 more switch knots, and it's getting about long enough, so I'm going to finish it up with the black. I'm halfway through a square knot now, so I'm going to finish up that one. Whoops, I have help from my cat. There you go. I think you can see me again. Yeah. Okay, so I've got 2 square knots there to finish. This will be 3. And just keep working at them, get them nice and smooth and tight. Oh, by the way, I frequently lose count, so if you see me stop and recount things, you'll understand why. I think that's 4, but give me a second, I'll recheck it. One, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this will be 5. Should be 6. Okay, this bracelet is going to be a little bit asymmetrical, but if I make it symmetrical, it's going to be way too long. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. If you want to make a symmetrical bracelet, my suggestion is you start with a piece of note paper and you figure out what you want in the center, and then you plan it from either side. Okay, there I go. I've got a bracelet now with 1, 2, 3, 4 switches in it. It starts with a black, it ends with a black. The black on this end is a little bit longer than that black is. It looks like it's going to be about 6.5 inches long, which is about where I wanted it to be. Now I have this little neat thingy here, which is just a real rustic piece of wire that's been hand forged or hammered flat to make a toggle out of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread all of these guys through it. Another little tidbit: the knots for this part did not show up bright. So what I did was I threaded everything through here, took it, wrapped it around, and then put it back through the hole and pulled it all nice and tight like I did on this end, and then I cut the ends off real close here and put glue on it to keep it from coming undone. Okay, this is the bracelet on, since this is a re-recording of that one because it didn't take the last time. There it is. It fits my wrist almost perfectly, and my wrist measures 6.5 inches, and that's the way it looks on, folks. Yes, it is a little bit asymmetrical, but it fits nicely. To take it off, you just have to start with the short end and take that way. Anyway, so there's the finished bracelet.